Welcome to Beyond the Headlines on the WMBD Plus app, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Austin Feeman.
And I'm Christopher Hueslig. First, we will be talking about a ribbon cutting that happened at Illinois State University. Then we will learn about AEDs being added to local hardware business.
And lastly, we will learn about a kids challenge going on at Heartland Community College in the Twin Cities that focuses on renewable energy.
Yeah, our first big story of the day puts Austin in the hot seat. He went to a ribbon cutting earlier to celebrate the opening of the new Center for Education Students at Illinois State University and tells us more. So, what is this new center?
Yeah, so basically this new center it's called the Larry and Barbara Efaw Center of Education Excellence. Now that's a little bit of a mouthful, but basically it's a new place for education students to go to receive support as they learn more in college. You know, obviously being a teacher is very stressful and whatnot, so this center is going to kind of give them a chance to have some extra support behind their back and whatnot. Things like, you know, all sorts of different things like test prep and whatnot, but they had a ribbon cutting this afternoon which kind of celebrated the opening of this new center, as well as some remarks by family members from the Efaw family, college administrators, and education students at Illinois State University.
Yeah, so what's it going to do for the students?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, it's going to provide a lot of support for these students. You know, they have things like test prep, mentoring, wellness, networking with other education alumni, civic engagement, and so much more. It's really just a place to kind of give these students a little bit more support. Obviously, there's a lot of there's a need for teachers right now, and a lot of these teachers are feeling the burnout or feeling just all sorts of different things revolving around their jobs. And this is really just to set these students up for success when they go out into the real world and get a job.
Yeah, so you talked about Larry and Barbara Efaw. Who are they?
Yeah, so they were educators at Illinois State University. Larry graduated, they also attended Illinois State University, and Larry graduated in '56 and got his master's in '59, and then Barbara graduated in '59 as well. Now, they both got degrees in education, and they came back to the university to teach. And then Larry actually started a not-for-profit, which was later known as the Illinois Reading Service, where they got a group of librarians and picked out some books for a preferred reading list that they would give to schools to kind of highlight some of the books that would be best for these schools.
It sounds awesome. Sounds like some really good people there.
Yes, there was a lot of really good people, and some of the Efaw family was also there, and we're very happy with seeing the entire the new center and everything, and also had some remarks and whatnot on how grateful they are and how thankful they are just to be here and to have the center honored to their grandparents or their great-grandparents, their parents. There's multiple generations of family there.
Yeah, well, Austin, listen to this. A bill to make Italian beef the official sandwich of Illinois is now headed to the full Senate House.
Oh, yeah.
State Representative Rick Ryan sponsored the measure. Ryan is celebrating today at Pop's Beef at 103rd and Kedzie on the south side. The measure now needs the support of the entire House. The vote could happen this spring. It might be a hard sell downstate, though, because passing this bill would dethrone the Horseshoe, which is a wildly popular sandwich in the Springfield area.
You know, I don't know too much about the Horseshoe, but I do love a good Italian beef sandwich.
Yeah, we went for one of the other podcasts, What's on Your Table, we went to Frank's, and I can tell you a good Italian beef is quite delicious.
Yes,
so those are.
When I was a little itty bitty boy, me and my family would go up to Chicago just to get Portillo's.
Really?
And get an Italian beef sandwich or a hot dog, and also the cheese fries, obviously, from Portillo's. But if I were to get an Italian beef sandwich today, it would have to be from Portillo's.
That was the first place our good friend Alex Berger told me I had to try when I moved out here. So.
Yes, it's a phenomenal place, and I'm so glad that we have one in Bloomington now. For so many years we didn't have one in Bloomington, so I'm very glad that we have one now.
Yeah.
All right, well, when we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Jack Bozikas joining us to talk about a local business implementing AEDs into their building. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Another big local story of the day. A Peoria business is taking steps to save lives during Heart Month, installing a new life-saving device and training staff on CPR.
Yeah, our Jack Bozikas joins us now to explain what it all means.
So Jack, what did they learn what did they learn?
Yes, it was at SNS. It was at SNS, the building. They're like a home repair business that, you know, they specialize in door handles and things like that. But no, today they had an informal training session. They brought in an AMT and yeah, just kind of learning about how to use an AED and how to perform CPR. Granted, like I said, it wasn't like a full-on training course in class. It was just a quick, you know, hour-long, 30-minute presentation on what to do in case of an emergency.
So, Jack, why is it important to know this information?
Yeah, this kind of struck me. If someone falls into, you know, sudden cardiac arrest, every minute they lose 10% of the likelihood of surviving, of making it out okay. But, you know, if you're doing CPR or have an AED, that exponentially rises. I mean, you know, it takes probably 3 minutes sometimes for emergency response vehicles to get to the scene, and you know, 3 minutes right there, that's 30% of someone who's, you know, if there's no one around that knows how to perform CPR. So that was pretty interesting. I think that's and yeah, it's good information to know. God forbid you're in the workplace and one of your coworkers drops down. I mean, it's something seriously that everybody should have at least a basic understanding of to, you know, perform in case of an emergency.
Yeah, and so you were at this training course. Did you learn anything that kind of surprised you?
Yes. So when you think of CPR, you think of, you know, staying alive,
exactly.
right? But and I immediately thought of like, oh, mouth to mouth. That's no longer up to date.
Huh.
You don't have mouth to mouth is no longer recommended, and I was really surprised by that. And it makes sense that, like, to stop doing CPR compressions is to stop. You're manually pumping that blood and pumping that blood flow. So even just to stop for mouth to mouth is not recommended. And also, you know, this recommendation came out post-COVID. COVID happened. People didn't want to put their mouths on other people's mouths for germs' sake, and that makes sense. So there's plenty of people who just aren't, you know, they won't do mouth to mouth. So they got rid of it completely, and yeah, CPR is what you need to know.
Interesting. Now, I have one more quick question. If there's two people at the scene, is mouth to mouth recommended still?
So if there's two people at the scene, one of them should always be doing CPR, and the other one should be getting the AED set up, getting that ready to go if there is one there. If not, you should be immediately call 911, immediately get, you know, your emergency response team there, and give them as many details and information that you can do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jack.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's a story for our movie expert. From new trends to old, for years it's felt like every big summer movie was centered around a superhero. Well, a new study says Gen Z is over it. A team at UCLA asked more than 1,500 young people ages 10 to 24 what they look for in male leads in movies and TV shows. More than 60% said they want to see normal guys who can express their feelings and still be leaders. Noah Wile's character, Dr. Robbie, in the HBO series The Pitt, was one example they pointed to. A strong leader is also vulnerable in tough moments. Meanwhile, Disney and Marvel are banking on this not being the case. The big budget superhero film Avengers Doomsday is coming to theaters this December.
Yeah, that's interesting because, like, obviously, you know, we want male role models to, you know, there's that stereotype that, like, oh, men don't talk about their feelings.
Right.
I think it's important that we have these male role models that yes, they talk about their feelings. They have these vulnerable moments, but they're also, if they're superheroes, they, like, we can't detract from like them doing superhero stuff. Like, I want to see my superhero saving people, regardless of how they feel.
Right.
But I totally understand that sentiment. Like,
Yeah.
we need more movies.
We
like
want those
that.
superheroes who are saving people and then having mental breakdowns after.
Exactly.
Is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. Like
That
Peter
is-
Parker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
exactly.
goodness.
He's struggling to pay rent, and then he's saving the world.
Right.
But
Well-
also, and that also goes vice versa. Like, I want, people think of like women leads as like damsels in distress. I don't want that. I want to see, Wonder Woman kicking butt.
Right.
I don't want, I want to see heroic female leads also.
Right.
Just as much as I want to see, vulnerable male leads that share their feelings.
And I think it's important that all sorts of types of people are represented in movies nowadays, especially with younger kids. They can see themselves in these characters, in these superheroes, and say, you know what, they're like me, so I can be like them.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
wow.
All right, well, we've got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. Austin will be back in the hot seat to talk about a kids' challenge at Heartland Community College that focuses on renewable energy. We'll be right back. Another big local story of the day puts Austin back in the hot seat. Heartland Community College hosted the Kid Win Challenge, which gave students from different schools the chance to compete by building a wind turbine. Austin was there and joins us now to tell us all about it. What was the challenge and how many students attended, Austin?
Yeah, so basically this challenge was a whole collaboration, that's a fun word, of these kids coming together and learning how to build wind turbines, learning how to create energy. Students from schools around Central Illinois, specifically 10 different schools, about 118 students, grades 4th grade to about a senior in high school. They all came together and were challenged to create a turbine to create power, and whoever's turbine created the most power from each age group, so elementary, middle school, and high school, would win.
Yeah, so that sounds awesome. So what was kind of the purpose of the event?
Yeah, when I was there, it was really awesome to see all these kids working on their turbines and really learning about how this all works. But the purpose was really to teach and educate these kids about energy and energy systems and how energy works. Because, we use energy every single day. It's a very important thing in really everything that we do. Even sitting here right now, we're using energy. So it was really important for Heartland Community College to teach the younger generation about energy, how it's made, how it's stored, all sorts of different things. They put their turbine, they did testing and whatnot, and they also did presentations with the judges for their turbines, but they would put their turbine in a kind of like a wind box thing.
Oh, yeah.
They would turn the fans on and they would see how fast it would turn and how much energy it would create, and that would be kind of like their score. And so then after all of that, they would look at all the scores, and whoever scored highest obviously would win. But this was also, this wasn't just about teaching kids about energy. It also was teaching kids about teamwork and how to work in a team, because these kids didn't do it alone. They worked in teams. They worked, it was like groups of 4 or 5, I think, and they really had to learn how to, collaborate with other people, making decisions and coming together and find common ground within group work. As group work is not always the most fun thing, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, challenges are fun and all, but the real question comes in: did someone win?
Oh yes, someone did win. Now I'm not exactly sure who, but the winners from this Kid Win Challenge from each age group, like I mentioned earlier, elementary, middle, and high school, they were all going to be invited to the National Kid Win Challenge this summer. Basically, it's everyone around the country who did this Kid Win Challenge are coming together. They're going to compete again and really see who can make the most energy from their turbines.
Wow, that sounds like a ton of fun. And,
Yes.
I mean, learn about sustainability while winning. How does it get any better than that?
Exactly, and honestly, I was kind of jealous. I wanted to get in on the action and build my own wind turbine and test it out in the wind tunnel. It looked so.
Do you think you would have won?
No, I'm not a science person. If you put some words in front of me, I can do that, but And when it comes to science and energy.
And that is why we're sitting here on a couch in suits and not in lab coats.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't do math, I don't do science, but I can do words and I can do writing.
And that's what we pay you for.
Exactly. But no, I still think it would have been fun just to try different things out and see what would work and see what wouldn't work. And you know, all these kids had super interesting designs, and the best thing was every single group had something different.
Yeah.
I didn't see one turbine that was exactly the same as another one. They all had different number of wings. They all had a different structure and whatnot. But yeah, it was a really awesome thing to look at.
Yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun there, Austin.
Yeah. All right. Well, how do you dress when you fly? The Tampa airport caused a stir online after teasing a ban on pajamas. How dare they?
What?
The Post says the airport was successful in banning Crocs, and now it wants to ban pajamas at airport in the middle of the day. They also said the decision could be disruptive to someone in your life, but it's time to have a difficult conversation with them. Airport officials have since clarified everything in the Post was a joke. Oh, thank goodness.
So my question would have been, what constitutes as pajamas? Because like, if I wear my sweatpants with my slides, or my
Right.
Hey Dude, does that count as a pajama?
You know, I wear Hey Dudes almost every single day. So
Me too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I mean, the whole point of an airplane, if I'm going to get that high up in the sky, I at least want to be comfortable.
right.
I want to be able to relax.
I will. You know what? I will never get on a plane in a suit or anything uncomfortable.
I'm 30,000 feet in the air. Okay, why would I want to do that in a
Right,
suit?
cramped into this tiny seat with two other people next to me. Like, I want to be in sweatpants and a sweatshirt with my blanket and my neck pillow, and I'm going to take a nap, all cozy in my pajamas. And if you tell me otherwise, we're going to have an issue.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, the whole thing is stressful enough.
Yes, exactly.
It's hot, it's stressful, and like you said, especially if you get stuck between two other people, you're in that middle seat, and then you just got two. It doesn't even
Two strangers.
Yeah, two strangers you don't know, and then they're trying to talk to you.
Yeah,
you know, like no, I'll stick to my my sweatpants and my t-shirt.
Put my headphones on and maybe watch a movie or something.
Yeah, or listen to my music. I'm a big music fan when I fly. I've only been on a plane twice, but
Yeah, the last time I was on a plane, I brought my crochet stuff, and I was worried they were going to take my scissors, but I did learn that if you have scissors with less than 3-inch blades and they have a cover on them, you can take them on a plane.
yeah, the last time I was on a plane, I was going to Denver, and some girl was sitting next to me, and I was like freaking out every time we hit turbulence because I'd never hit turbulence. I think I apologized 600 times.
I mean,
so I could not have imagined doing that in a suit.
It can be scary. Turbulence is scary. When I was flying to Vegas, and I think we hit a little bit of turbulence, and it scared me. I'm not too big of a fan of planes, but I always like being at the airport for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for joining us today on Beyond the Headlines. You can find all these stories and more on our website, ciproud.com. Oh, yeah.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.